Good morning. Uh, it's in July 2022 and I live in Sweden and my name is Eva Virginius, like a virgin. Or in Latvia, is it uh, where my surname, last name, coming from? And I was thinking something was wrong when I started to think about my son's father. And I don't know what kicked in, but I think it was in the news when they talk about in the military. And I was thinking that I should be fair to him. My son's father, he passed away 2003 in instantly heart attack because he had diabetes and he was alcoholic, so that kills his heart. And he was not alcoholic when we were together, but he became that later in life. And so I was thinking something is wrong when I think about him. But I was thinking that I should be fair to him and write it in the family tree that he was a commander in the military. So he was good in that way. It's in this the devil children that is, if they go for something, nothing can stop them. So that's a good thing but a bad thing about it, that if they focus on something, they get it. And that's how my son got a drive license when he was over 40 years old. He didn't go for it before, but when he did it, he take it. And force in some way, I know the grandfather of my son, he forced himself to get the drive license because he said that he didn't do anything wrong when they pointed out things he had done wrong, but he was going angry and they didn't, they were frightened about him, so they give him a drive license. And it can have happened in my son's father. I think he never had a drive license. We let other drive the car. We have car, but other people drive our car. And I think he have had a drive license, but he have done some criminal things before I met him, because he never had a drive license when we were together. And we were only together, I think, less than 2 years, because he was so bad man, and was close to kill me. And so I ran away from him. He was called in to the military, and he didn't want to go. And I was thinking, this is my chance to run away from him. I could have run away from him, but I wanted to have my belongings with me, and that's why I couldn't run away from him. Only run away. So I have to wait for a chance to run away, and it come when they call him in the military. In the past, it's different from today. And the military, in that time, they call in to repeat what those old people have learned in the military, so they are in shape if something happens. Because old men that is not retired of age, they need to come in if there is going to be war. And they start to change the military now in Sweden because of Russia and that this conflict problem there is with Ukraine and Russia. So they have started to shape it up and be not so like before, that we didn't have any military really. We have this that volunteer in the military, but we didn't have any military. And if people are not commander, they don't get any paid in Sweden. They have to go to the military for free. It's not like in United States that they get paid to go into conflicts. And I don't know really how it works, but some kind of money do they get. But maybe it's only for they get food and a bed to sleep in, like that. I don't know, so I should not say anything. I was thinking that something must be wrong, because I was thinking about him in the military, and then I was thinking about that he was a star as a young boy. He was very good in soccer, football, and he was he showing me the newspaper that he had about him as a young boy, and he could have been a professional soccer player, and had another life than to die in a heart attack because of alcoholic and diabetes. And I was then in that way I was thinking about how people go wrong. They have so good start in life. They have everything open for them, and still they are going into bad life, criminal life, bad life, evil life. Even if they have everything going on for them from the start. And I always say it's a waste of life when I see or hear or read about a young person. Yesterday I was watching a documentary about the country singer Hank Williams. Uh, you young people maybe don't know who he was, but he was one of the first going into uh, from hillbilly music, was it, before country music, and then the country music come, and he was like, he slid over those music sorts, and was a little like a little soft rock music, and he was only 29 years old when he died. It was really waste of life. He did write very much nice songs. He did, I think it was at least over 80 songs in 1 year, and many of them was hits. It was success, and still today they are playing his music. Do we release new records, it's new music with his songs in it, and he started to drink alcoholic when he was about 10 years old, and I wonder why his mother let him drink. It seems like she allowed it, and I know from my own life that I have a co-worker, and we were home to him for like a party, and we were going, and it was in that time when I didn't know God, and I was drinking alcohol, and we were buying alcoholic, and they bought a wine bottle for their son. They have only one child, their son, and he was about 10 years old, and they gave him the wine bottle to drink, and I understood it in that time because I saw this boy, and he was very wild. He was mental sick and wild, and the only thing to calm him down when they want to relax was to give him wine. They were thinking in that way, and I understand a little because the boy ran away from them to drink on his own, have his wine bottle on his own. So he didn't disturb us. And so I was thinking and when I was young, about 20 years old, I had a friend that gave their baby alcoholic when they were baby in the bottle of milk. They mix it with alcoholic, so the baby didn't was awake when it was party, and of course I was too young to know what to do, but I know they did it, so it can be something like, don't disturb me, that the parents do this to their kids. So in that way of bad things is it to disturb the children so they don't go into parties, to give them games to play, and movies to watch on their computers or phone or something like that. That is better than alcoholic, but the children will be addicted to watch the whole time the computer and telephone, so that's not good in the long run. Then is my second topic today, and I think it belonged to that I was thinking about my son's father. I have not done it before. He's out from my mind. I was like thinking about that. He don't bother me anymore in my mind, but suddenly he come through, and I knew I should be kindly to him and write it down that he was good in soccer and he was commander in the military in the family tree, so people could read it, and my son could read about his father about it, and so he was not, so he's not thinking that his father was only a drinker, because my son saw his father be an alcoholic. They were together until his father died, so he have seen him alcoholic. So I was thinking about, why do I think about this man that I have taken away from my mind? But it is about this with I recording and place on SoundCloud platform, and the bad thing is that both bad and good is that it's spreading to other platform SoundClouds. But if the SoundCloud, my podcast on SoundCloud will be hacked, if it's someone write inside the code of this platform, it will spread to many platforms, and I don't reach a listener because of that. And I was thinking about these negative things. I have a spirit here now, and I was thinking about that in the beginning when I started SoundCloud. I have very much people trying to make it my podcast be very popular, but it was not about because of God that I was talking about God and good things. It was that they wanted to make commercial on my podcast for selling drugs and be communicate with each other for drugs. And you that is still here on SoundCloud and listen, you are not doing these drugs, I hope. And you are the real listener. And those other that was in listen to my podcast, and maybe they only play 1 minute, and then it was in the statistic that someone have listened at the podcast. So I understand what they were doing, because I have worked with computers almost my whole life. I bought my first computer 1978. So 78. So it's very long time I have been in computers, and I have education. I have education from Windows. Their certificates to could repair, and I am web designer, so I do websites, so I know about these codes that they have to do, and then those that do drugs, they go into that codes that is my podcast and change it to be a stop in one. I have one platform is Podbean, and I could go in there and look at the code for my podcast, and then I saw it was a link to a business, and I checked it up what it was, and it was to take my listener to that business and make them get many people that listen. You maybe have been into it, because I have still have, because I have paid Podbean to be on that platform. So you that listen to on Podbean maybe have got it. And I told them many times on Podbean that I saw in the code that there was a link to another business. It was, I don't have any business. I told them I don't want to get paid from my listener. My podcast should be free from all ads, free from something that I get money from, because it should be total free. I have told them many times, because they always think it's about money. That's what it is in the world. It's about money, money, money. And I have to tell them special with big letters that I am not into get any money from my podcast. I work for God, and I am a tool for heaven, and that is not something I should be paid for. I am very thankful that I have that connection to heaven. So that is my reward. Money is not the reward for me. I have not that thinking, because I have everything I need when it comes to money, and I don't have a husband, I don't have friends, I don't have a real family, and that is something I miss. I'm missing that, but that is not about money. It should not be about money, but it is. My daughter have been to her father the whole time because he gave her so much money. He had bought her the electric bicycle. Every time she destroyed her phone, he gave her a new phone and new computer and everything. And when she was out of money, she only called her father to send her money. So he bought her for money, and now he live with a woman, and I know she have told him to not give my daughter so much money and not give my daughter so much expensive things. And so he have calmed down in that way, so he don't give her so much. And that's why my daughter have started to be with me, because it was only, she was with her father only to get the money, and me, she don't get any money from me. I have not been, even before I was, before I was with God, she got the money. We have this money to our children from the government here. Even the king get it to his children, and when they were small, when they were under 18 years old. And I gave my daughter all that money, but that was for her to buy her own clothes, and what we should pay for to have a fun life, and sometimes she'll miss money. She had bought too much expensive things. Then I say to her that you don't get any money from me. You got that kind of money to spend, and you should not have much than that. It should afford to give you a nice life, that money. And I told her that if you need more money, you have to borrow from me, and then you have to pay it back next time you get the money from the government. And so she have to do it. So I have never been, and I have not had so much money so I could overflow my children. So that's why she's coming back to me now, and I know it, and I don't think she understands that I know what she's doing, but it's okay. But for me, I'm not happy to see my daughter, because I know it's because her father doesn't give her the money. That's why she is with me, and that is not a real mother and daughter relationship. It's cause of money, lack of money. So that is not a real family member for me, and I can honestly say that I am not happy for my daughter to come and visit me, because I don't feel like she belonged to me after many years that she have only wanted to be with her father. and and this also that she only believe in Jesus as God, and that make me a little disappointed. But I can't force anyone to believe in the true God, the God of the Old Testament, the God that created everything, and not through Jesus. God was created, and he was the first love we have. Sometimes I have asked that when I have been to a church and talked to those church leaders, and I asked them, who was the first love? It's in the Bible it says that you have forgotten your first love, it says to one church. And I asked them, because I know the answer, who is the first love? And they coming up with a very different answer. Who is your first love? Who is your first love, you that listen? And it's of course the Creator, the mother of all beginnings. She don't want this. She don't want to have our eyes on her. She is a pure energy, so she don't care about these things, to what's love and this. She only exists behind the scene. She is not the actor. She is the worker behind the scene to make it working with God and everything that is holy, heaven, everything. She is behind that, but she is not the main actor in this about life. If you understand, it's the Spirit here that is talking these kind of things. This Spirit wants you to understand this, that the mother of all beginnings, she don't need that attention, that what those that is on the stage, or what people could feel and touch and these things, is not her. And God is it not that way either. It's other characters in the Bible that is on the stage, and prophets like me, but I am stopped by the hackers, these doing drugs people. They have seen, they have find out that I am not talking good about drugs and addiction. I'm talking against it, and so they don't want to make a commercial for me and make me get many listeners anymore. So they place my podcast that when people click on my podcast in some of these sound clouds codes, they click it and they go into another place where they make commercial for their drug dealers business, and they maybe is coming here on this episode because I'm going to write drugs on the title for to to trigger them to come back to see what is going on. And I will tell you in the next episode what's happened when I wrote about drugs in the title. I didn't want to talk about this in the beginning of this episode because they maybe listen 1 minute, and if I have say something about drugs, they they listen and find out that I should say these things I say just now. And the spirit is saying this. It's a good thing. It's a good thing you do now, he says. So he knows what is going on, but I don't know. But maybe he say this because of what will happen when I publish this episode. You will see. I will tell you in next episode. It will be interesting to see what's going on. If I get, if this is orange, all these profiles that was in the beginning, they were orange, and it was saying something in the orange that I have forgotten now because it's not of interest for me. But it was to, there is I can pay like AI, an artificial intelligence computer, to hit my podcast, so I get very much listener in the statistic, but they are not really listener. It's only to make my podcast be popular, and then I see it on those profiles that like some of my podcasts where I'm talking about suicide and these negative things, and they place that they love the episode. And then I see their profile. I go to their profile and see how evil collectors there is of these people that do that. So I am aware of it. I know what's going on, and I am telling SoundCloud about it, but I suppose I have to write like I did with Podbean. I talk about it. I say I can see your codes, and the codes is going to another to a business. I told them, and then they go in and change it, and now I get back all the listener there, and but it seems like they maybe it is in, because I place the episodes from SoundCloud into Podbean, so maybe there is some codes in one episode that make it, because suddenly it's dropped, all listener is gone again from Podbean. So it can be in every episode. It doesn't need to be in my podcast, the whole thing, the whole show. It is in the episodes that they have placed in. And it can be people, I don't say it is, but it can be the devil's children is sitting in this technical office they have, and place in those codes inside SoundCloud's company. But I don't say it is. But I know as I work with computers, and I know that those virus that going on in the computers is created of those that work with anti-virus programs, because they want to have their job, they want to have the money for it, so they can't let it be, and then all people have clean computers, and they don't need to buy any new program that have antivirus program in it. So they need to create virus for entertain their system and their money they get for to do those antivirus program. That's how it is, and I can tell you more technical that I know as a professional in computer areas. So thank you for listening, and don't be worried that I write in the title about drugs, because you know what it is if you have listened to the whole episode. God bless you. I love you all that listen full episodes, that is following me. And other, I love them also, but not so much as you.